What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders Awakened. It has been a good clip now since the Guardian was released. There's been several different nerfs, or balance changes, I should say, regarding the owls. Now, we're here on the King's Game, Dune difficulty, Massacre, Hardcore Rifted, and it's time to put those owls to work and see if they can still cut the hardest difficulty in the game. So let's check it out. Hopefully we get a nice dice pad out of the deal as well. To really be able to check these owls out fully, we are going to go and play on an Overlord Summoner. With that in mind, we're going to go with a ranged gemstone right here. So we're going to have that striking gemstone going. And that is going to give us the ability to just use one aura stack. In fact, let's go ahead and throw a strength drain down as well right there. So what is that going to leave us? Well, you know, more crowd control is always good. Although the ensnare aura is going to be pretty big with that striking on there, a little more crowd control certainly wouldn't hurt. But let's take a look at the lanes. Now, first off, we got a big flyer lane coming from up there. So we're going to want some owls in a position where they're going to be able to hit those flyers over there. I think just even something... Actually, you know what? Before we get into that, let's get our sirens down, as we know we're going to need some siren bubbles here on these cores. I think we're going to go on this side with the siren bubble to give a little bit more bubble over here. Let's go ahead and throw one down here as well. I think we can do the same thing. Let's just go on the inside there on that one. That'll give us plenty of room to build out. And then let's just focus on owls. We got 95 DU left, so that is a lot of owls. Taking a look at my owl stats, they're not min-maxed by any means, but they're doing pretty darn good. 13,000 power, 9,000 range, 9,900 rate. They are pretty juicy, but they are definitely not as good as they could be. Now, owls require line of sight, so we got a lane coming from over there, we got a lane coming from here, and we've got a flyer lane up there. So with that in mind, let's get some owls out here pretty deep. So let's go with like 3 owls like here. In fact, let's give the aura stack its own buff beam. That way those will be good and thick. Let me make sure that one is ruined. It is indeed, so we're good there. Let's see. Let's go, well, we got so much DU, and owls are cheap, so let's even go 3 more. Let's put 3 more owls right here. Now, in addition, this lane is going to be a top priority. This lane gets pushed really, really hard, so we want some owls that are going to have line of sight into that range. Now, although owls do an incredible job, they are not wisps. They won't go through walls, they won't attack enemies that they can't see. And the line of sight is based off of the owl's head, basically. So the top of the owl perch is where that line of sight is going to come from. Let's go ahead and get some buff beams thrown down on these guys. We're going to give each stack of 3 their own. Something like that. And like that. And something like that. And that. Now, what does this leave us? We still actually have 44 left, so there's a ton of DU left. I feel like we got pretty darn good owl coverage up here, though. One thing I could do is throw a few upgrades on each of these owls. Let's just get each owl with 2 upgrades on it. And see how we're doing here for the rest of it. Owls do benefit. It's not to the extreme like Warden defenses are. But they do get a real nice bit of range off of upgrades. I think I derped those upgrades there, but that's alright. Alright, so we got 3770 left, and we've got 44 DU left. We might actually end up throwing some more up top. But let's just go... Let's see, here we're going to have enemies coming up from the bottom. We're going to have enemies coming down and up over here. Why don't we try to fit in... Let's just try to fit in 2 more 3 stacks. We're going to need what? 12 DU left over for buff beams. So we're not going to be able to do them all, actually. Can we do... We can do two stacks on this side, and that will actually give us a little bit of change left over. We'll have 2 DU left over. Actually, you know what? We didn't do any spiders. Let's just go with 1 3 stack on this side. We'll get our buff beams in. Spiders are just going to make every build better. There's just no doubt about it. Spiders are for the win. It's just good stuff. I think we'll go with just a spider. We'll smack it right in the middle here. Actually, you know what? We could even... Let's get rid of one of those owls and give the spider a buff beam. We'll get a big old juicy spider right there. And then we'll get rid of 1 owl up top and give the spider a buff beam as well. Here I got mixed emotions. I kind of want a spider for that lane, but I want one for the flyer lane as well. You know what? With that in mind, let's get rid of an owl here and an owl there. And what will that give me? We're going to be 1 DU short. Oof. Big bummers. Well, what I can do, I guess, is put... just go ahead and go into Overlord mode and build here. We'll put 1 spider there. We'll put 1 spider here, and then we'll just walk these onto the buff beams. There we go. And then that leaves us 5. What to do with 5? Well, I guess I could have left. Let's just go 1 more spider. Screw it. We'll have 2 DU left over. So let's go 1 more spider there. Now with the gemstones, I'm just going to spam these upgrades. With the gemstones, you just got to make sure they're hitting the auras. So obviously with auras, it's going to be pretty obvious to see. I'm using a striking gemstone. Like you see, a low quality one, not even fully upgraded. It doesn't take much to get a good gemstone because you get to the boosts values very quickly. And then a speedy gemstone. Let's see. Let's go ahead and head over this way and make sure the gemstones aren't attached to anything. And then we'll lock them on to those auras. You can see by the size of the auras that the gemstones are indeed working. And then let's just let it fly here. This is definitely going to be the top priority area. So I am going to flash buff this area right here. By flash buffing in the middle, I'm able to hit both of those owl stacks and the aura. So good stuff there. We got the 2 DU left over. It's all about the ogres. The little guys, I'm pretty confident, are going to burn out just from the electric aura with the striking gemstone on it. So it's going to be all about the thicker mobs. So ogres, lichen, anything that's bigger, sharkin. The copter ogres are not getting smacked down out there. You see a lichen is really making it down that this lane right over here, but he did get whacked. The copter ogres are making it in. The owls seem to be doing well. This map does get a little chaotic with the 2 floors, so it's a little bit more difficult to see exactly what is going on between all of them. However, it seems like it might end up being a pretty darn smooth build. So let's go ahead and just let them burn off here. You see a copter ogre coming up. Got just walloped. The second, there's line of sight with the owls, of course, so... owl is not going to hit an ogre that's walking up that ramp until it gets into line of sight. Now, of course, I could always throw owls farther over that way, maybe with their own siren or just a reflect beam, and then they would go down and hit the enemies down the ramp. However, they're marching up, but they just get smacked. Like, as soon as they get into range, it's just over for them. So far, so good, though. I feel like the owls are a really strong defense. I really feel like all the way through the game you could use them. Now, you would have to get used to the line of sight issues with them. It's not necessarily an issue, but just how the owls function. So you gotta make sure you have a line of sight going on all these baddies all the time. But they slap. They definitely slap. This map, of course, you're going to really benefit from having some wisps or DSTs or something that can shoot through walls. That way you get a little quality spawn camp going on. As you see, the timer just burns down slow. The enemies have a good ways to walk. The sooner, faster you can kill them, the better off you're going to be. And then that dice pet is an incredible pet, so it's definitely one you're going to want to go after. So this map would be one that you're going to want to farm a ton. And wisps and DSTs, I think, are going to rule the roost on this one. The owls are holding their own, no doubt. But then, once you get a smooth build down, then of course it's a matter of making the build run quicker. That way it's not so darn tedious. Everything's burning out pretty nicely, though. Let's come over this way and see how, where our enemies getting slapped over here. It looks like pretty much as soon as they come into range. Once they get into the auras, you see the owl swooping out, and it's just GG's. The owls are going to one-tap all of the smaller mobs. And then when an ogre, of course, comes in, there's going to be more than enough power there to handle them. Spiders, too. I mean, as I mentioned, there is no bad use of spiders. Adding spiders to literally any build or any map in the game, and your build will always benefit. They're just so good. It's an incredible debuff that they apply to enemies, plus they've got AoE crowd control. That splash damage, of course, is going to slow the entire pack of baddies. So just really good stuff there. Alright, so this is looking like it's going to be an easy clap. So why don't we go ahead and jump on forward to Wave 25 and see how things are running with some scaled up enemies and a few more upgrades. Right, and we are back here in Wave 25. Now, I dumped all of the mana from Wave 24 into the lower lane because I forgot to upgrade those owls. Good to give them an even amount of juice throughout. And then this mana, I'm actually going to dump into the electric aura. And then any leftovers will go into the owls up top. Which there will definitely be leftovers with 7k. So, pretty smooth build altogether. Everything held up really well. In fact, let's get one upgrade on that strength drain just so I don't have to worry about flash healing it so much. Let's get that aura jacked up, and then we'll just spam into this stack over here. It seems like the bulk of the pressure has come from this side right here with the flyers. And the lane, the most dense lane is definitely this one. As far as the difficulty of enemies coming down and the number of enemies coming down. However, these 5 owls here and that spider with the straight line of sight up the lane are just wrecking it. So I've had no issue there whatsoever. Let's see, throw a few more around, and there we go. Let's go ahead and reset our gemstones again. Make sure that we are on our auras. We are indeed. And let's let it fly here for Wave 25. Now, like I said, this would definitely not be an optimal farm build. It's more of a revisiting Hitchcock build to check out the glory of the owls here. For a farm build on this one, I would definitely use DSTs and wisps. DSTs, of course, and wisps, both are going to have no line of sight issues with the walls. Any mobs that are slow walking from the very bottom floor, of course, are going to get smacked as they're coming up. And a DST wisp combination would be the best way to farm this map, no doubt. It's pretty smooth sailing. If we look out here, I don't want to come out of Overlord mode. You see the spider is just shooting into these flyers, which is kind of trivializing that flyer lane. And then if we look at this lane, which is usually the most dense lane, the enemies that are coming down are basically just getting smacked the second they get into aura range. The auras are doing a great bit of damage to them, and then additionally, the owls can come out for the heavy hitters for anything that's thicker. And you see nothing is really making it very deep into the aura range at all down here. Here comes a copter ogre. Spiders and owls just annihilated it right away. Just completely destroyed. Here comes a regular ground ogre. The ground ogre pushed in a little bit further. He made it like one tile in further than the copter ogre did. But same net result, and that is we are smacking them down. So owls are definitely a super, super strong powerhouse. One of the benefits of them is the way they attack. Now, it's the downside and an upside of the owl. When an owl goes out and leaves the perch, they're going to attack every enemy in their range that's in their line of sight one time. Then they're going to return to the perch, and then they'll head out again. Now, with this in mind, you don't have to worry as much about targeting, because the owls are going to hit everything. So if there's an ogre there, say there's a special enemy like a shark in there, and then there's a goblin there, you don't have to worry about one of them getting prioritized over the other. Take that up a notch and say there's a wyvern flying right over their head. It's going to hit all four of those enemies, which cover all four targeting types. You've got flying enemies, you've got strong enemies with the ogre, special enemies with the sharkin, and then fodder enemies with the goblin or orc or whatever. So it's going to cover all of those targeting types, and you don't have to sweat do you have your towers selected to the proper targeting. It's just going to smack them. It's going to get the job done no matter what. And that is one of the strong points of the owl. The weak point about that is it's only attacking each target once. So if you need the owl to attack a target 3, 4, or 5 times, it could be a struggle, because the owl's going to have to come back to its perch and then head back out. Now, in this situation where we've spammed owls, basically, we've got just tons of them. So in a situation like this, it's not really going to be an issue, as there's going to be so many owls going out. They're going to provide all the taps on the targets that we need. Owls are definitely looking good. I'm looking forward to see what comes next with Dungeon Defenders Awaken. Things have been a little quiet. The King's Game update was not that long ago, of course. So we did have an update not that long ago. We still don't know where things stand with the Switch. I'll probably do a video here in the next few days, upcoming, of exactly what, what we can expect, or what I'm hoping for anyway, with Dungeon Defenders Awakened and with Dungeon Defenders 2. So we've got some good things coming up for Dungeon Defenders 2 as well. Now, additionally, I wanted to throw it out there, and I absolutely hate to ask. However, I am kind of in a desperate way. For those that follow the live streams, you know I just had some major oral surgery this past week. In fact, right now, I still have stitches. I got, 3, 6, 9? I got 12 stitches in my mouth right now as I record this video. And that has left me an overwhelming amount of bills. So I hate to do it, but I am going to ask if anyone is able to help me out a little bit with the medical bills. That is going to keep me creating content and keep me out of the Uber car. So right now, as it stands, tomorrow I'm going to be starting to drive for Uber again, just because I've got to be able to make some money to pay the bills. So if anyone is able to help, I will appreciate it an absolute ton. I will put a link down in the description below. And then I will be doing a special thank you video for everyone who is able to assist me in that regard. But there is a revisit of the owls. Super powerful. Definitely a beast mode defense in Dungeon Defenders Awaken. However, very, very situational usage. So you're going to want to make sure to carefully use your owls. It's not going to be your everyday spammer. There's no doubt about it. But on that note, it's pretty darn good as well. So owls are worth a look if you haven't already. The changes to the owls clearly did not nerf them completely into the ground as everyone expected, and they're still a pretty darn solid defense. But that will do it for now. Thanks an absolute ton for watching, and I will see you next time around. Take it easy.